Hey you guys! This video today is entirely stuff that I like to do to work on pointy feet. So we're going to do a little bit of active release of our calves and shins, then we're going to do some massaging of our feet, and then we're going to do some foot strengthening exercises, and then we'll do some really nice stretches so that we can have really pointy feet and ankles. Okay, so you're going to spend most of this time staring at my feet. Very sorry, you don't get to see my face very much. Here we go. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I like to use a couple blocks for this, we're just going to roll our shins. Now I have the peanut. If you don't have a peanut, you can use like a single ball, like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball or something like that. And then you're just going to feel along the front of your shin. And you can feel there's like kind of a pointy bony bit, and then there's like a gushy muscly bit beside it. And I'm just gonna stick my peanut like this so that the gap of the peanut is on the pointy bone bit and the ball is on the muscly bit, because you don't wanna like peanut your bones. It doesn't do very much, hurts a lot. So what we're gonna do is just stick the peanut on a box. I'm using blocks, you could use a stack of books. And then all we're gonna do is flex and point. And it's gonna feel really great on the front of that shin there. Not terrible feeling at all. And then when you feel ready, you're just gonna scooch that ball down your leg a tiny little bit, and we'll do a little lower down. Same thing. Flex and point. And the more you lean on the ball, obviously, the more pressure you put on there, the more it's gonna dig into your shin. So take it easy. Do however much feels appropriate for your body. And I'm doing just like 5 or 6 in each location. I'm gonna move it down one more time so that I really get that whole muscle along there. Alright, now I'm going to move over and I'm going to do the other leg. So again, I'm starting high up on my shin, and I'm just moving my leg so you can see I'm flexing and pointing. And the more you lean forwards on it, the harder the ball presses into your little muscle there. If you wear high heels, your muscles might be excruciatingly tight also. So you could just sit there with the ball on there. You don't have to do the flexing and pointing. It's just like an added active release. And we'll move the ball down to position number 2. So I'm just doing like 3 or 4 positions down the front of my shin. And make sure you breathe. This one can be a bit intense. Let's move it down one more time. Ooh, okay. Wow. Alright. Come on off there. And then you can have just like a smaller stack of books, and then again you can use a single ball, you can use a peanut if you have like a tennis ball, that works too. And we're going to do our calves. So we're going to do a very similar thing to our calves. So we're bringing the ball onto the back of the calf, and then again the more you lean on it, the more intense it is, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to flex and point. And again, I'm doing just like 5 or 6 in a couple different locations down my calf. And I find that my outer calf muscle is often tighter than my inner calf muscle. So I'm kind of externally rotating my leg to really get onto that tight muscle. You might find that the inside of your calf is tighter and you might need to internally rotate here. Let's roll it down one more time. Don't go onto your Achilles tendon. Make sure that you stay on the muscly bit above that. 2 more. All right, let's switch legs. So again, I'm starting kind of high up on my calf. And I'm externally rotating because my legs aren't going to be the same for this one. They're tighter on the outside. Maybe yours are tighter on the inside. I don't know, give it a try. You can also see I'm like kind of doing circles with my ankle too. Just wiggle around, see what feels good. And then let's scooch it down. Oh, this is really intense. If you've been standing all day, like maybe you work in film or something and you spend hours just like standing on your feet, this can feel really great too. Like at the end of the night before bed, let's move it down one more time. Okay, we're gonna do the bottom of the foot too. And for this one, you could use like, if you don't have a peanut or a tennis ball or something, you could actually use like a can of beans or something like that. So what I'm gonna do is put, maybe if I go like right here, you can see that. So I'm putting the ball just underneath the arch of my foot. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just like roll back and forth. And I just kind of have my foot over one of the balls. The other one's not really doing anything because the peanut's kind of too wide for my foot otherwise. And then I'm gonna start like kind of close to the heel at the very back of the arch of my foot. And I'm gonna curl my toes over the ball. And then I'm gonna flex, curl, and flex. And again, I'm gonna do this in a couple different parts of my foot, like 4 or 5 times in each part. And let's move to the middle, again, curling over the ball, and then flexing, curl, and flex. Again, let's roll to the front of the foot and curl and flex. And again, the more pressure you put on that foot, the more intense it will be. Okay, let's switch sides. All right. Curling. Oh, I forgot. Let's roll back and forth a little bit to start with. Let's not make it too intense immediately. Okay, now I'm going to start at the back of the arch, and I'm going to curl and flex a bunch of times. And then I'm going to move to the middle of my foot. Again, if you wear heels, this might be terrible, so don't lean too hard on it. Now let's go right up the end there. Okay, let's shake it up a little bit. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is cross one leg over the other. So my ankle's hanging loose past my leg, and I have my leg sitting like just above the knee, okay? Then I'm gonna take my foot and I'm gonna do some circles with my ankle. Just really gently loosening things here. Switch directions. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab my toes and I'm gonna kind of do a figure 8 with them. And switch directions. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my foot and I'm gonna twist it so the bottom of it points upwards. And then I'm gonna twist it the other way and it'll go way less far in this direction. All right, now I'm gonna find all those little bones. You've got them, they like run in a straight line. They're called metatarsals. They go all the way down your foot and they've got like little divots or little gaps in between them. So what I'm gonna do is take these 4 fingers and I'm gonna kind of run them down those gaps in between my metatarsals. Really massage out all those tiny little muscles in there. All right, now I'm gonna use my thumbs and I'm gonna do the same thing, but on the bottom of my foot. So I'm gonna find those little metatarsals and I'm gonna run my thumbs down the gaps between them. Now, I'm gonna hold on to the metatarsal attached to my big toe. So I've got my fingers like wrapped right around this big toe joint here and holding on. And I'm gonna hold on to my pinky toe joint. So I'm holding both edges of my foot and then I'm gonna kind of wiggle back and forth. And I'm migrating like up and down those metatarsals so that I massage out the whole foot and not just the end of it. And it won't move very much back here, but you can get a little bit of movement in between those bones down here. It feels pretty nice. And then I'm gonna move to the next set of metatarsals. So my second toe and my fourth toe, and I'm gonna wiggle those back and forth too. All right. Now I'm gonna stretch my foot into like, it's like I'm trying to fold it in half. Like I'm trying to make my big toe and my little toe touch over here. They're not gonna do it, but I'm just stretching the top of my foot that way. And then I'm gonna stretch it the other way. So I'm really pulling it apart here. And I'm kind of pushing my fingers into like right here on the top of my foot to help stretch the bottom of it. All right, and we're gonna save most of the stretches for after we've done the strengthening exercises. So we're gonna do the other foot. So cross it over. Let's do some circles with the ankles. Switch directions. And then let's do that figure 8. You think of it like you're waving your toes. And let's go the other way. Your feet are gonna feel so good when we're done. All right, then we're gonna use our fingers, like the 4 of them, to go down those metatarsals. And rub those gaps in between them, really massage them here. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. So again, I'm running my thumbs down the gaps in between my metatarsals. Now hold on to the outside edges of your foot and wiggle them back and forth. So I'm like kind of pushing the metatarsals in opposite directions, just trying to get some movement through the sole of my foot here. And then move on to the next one. Try and move them more in the center of your foot. Alright, now let's curl that foot in. And then let's stretch it the other way. Okay, I think we're ready for some foot strengthening. So the first thing we're going to do is just grab some blocks or some books or something like that. You can use two or you can use one. I'm going to use one for each of my feet. I don't know why, I just am. You're going to stand like with the balls of your feet on the block and you're going to sink your heels down and then you're going to go up on your toes. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Then you can lose your blocks and you're going to grab a stretchy thing. Okay, if you can see. So with your stretchy thing, you're gonna put it around like the tops of your toes. And however strong it is gonna determine how challenging this is for you. So the first thing that you're gonna do is flex your feet, squeeze your quads. No, it's right sideways like that. Okay, so you're here. And then, keeping your feet flexed, keeping your quads squeezed, you're gonna push your pinky toes into the band. And you should feel this in the muscles up here. We're gonna go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now we're going to do it in a demi-point. So my ankles are pointing, but my toes are flexed, and I'm still squeezing my quads. And then I'm going to push my pinky toes into the band. It's going to be way harder. We're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Try really hard to keep your ankles together. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you're going to do the same thing with your toes all the way pointed. It's going to be the hardest one yet. You're just going to push your pinky toe into the edge for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the action that's happening, if you want to see it without the band, is my feet are flexed and I'm doing this. And then in a demi-point, they move way less. And in a point, they move the least. But that's what's going to get you that nice mermaid tail line on your foot point. You want to keep your ankles together and your toes pointed. Okay, I can give you an overhead view. So we want to be like here so that your ankles go in and then your toes flare out like a pretty mermaid tail. That makes the nicest line in the air, the most pleasing one. We don't want to be pointing in this direction. This is called a sickle foot, and we might use it in aerials to like flag the silks or hang on to the rigging, but we never want to be like foot like in space in a sickle because it kind of ruins the line of your leg. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to take the band and we're going to wrap it around the foot this way. So it's like completely covering your entire foot. Hopefully this is a good angle. And I don't care what your other leg's doing. You're gonna squeeze this quad muscle, straighten this leg really, really straight, and flex that foot. Again, the more you pull on the band, the harder this is gonna be. And then all you're gonna do is demi point, and then curl the toes over, demi, and flex. For 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And make sure that as you're doing that demi point and that point, you're not letting the big toe drift inwards. So you really don't want to sickle during this exercise either. And let's switch feet. We're almost done. I know your calves and feet are probably dying. They're going to be so pretty though. Okay, same thing on the other side. So, leg is straight, foot is flexed, quad is engaged, and we go demi, and point, demi, and flex. For 9. Many of you have arches that collapse. This is great for that. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, you can close the band thingy. All right, I'm going to sit to show you this. Let's try like this. Okay, so you're gonna have your foot flexed. You're gonna curl just your toes over, and you're gonna keep your ankle flexed. If I go this way, you can see like my ankle's flexed, but I'm doing that death grip toe that I always tell you not to do if you come to like aerials class. We're gonna stretch that now. So I'm just keeping my foot flexed and I'm just stretching my toes over. Maybe I should crop that awkward pan out. Okay, so now I'm going to keep my foot flexed and I'm going to flex my toes. So it's just like that. Now I'm going to point my foot but flex my toes. So my ankle is pointy, but my toes are bending back. And now I'm going to keep pointing my foot and I'm going to point my toes and I'm going to kind of stretch like all of them on their own. And then for the very last stretch that I like to do, I'm going to hold on to my metatarsal and I'm going to lean my toes on my forearm, and then I'm going to pull my forearm towards me and push my foot like away. And you should get a really nice stretch down the top of your ankle and the top of your foot here. Okay, other side. We're almost done, I swear. Okay, so my foot is flexed, curling my toes over, and I'm stretching those toes into a curl. I wonder if you'll be able to hear all of the clicking that's happening. Okay, now I'm flexing my foot, and I'm flexing my toes. Obviously don't like crank them back so much that it's terribly painful, but stretch them real good. And then I'm gonna point my foot and flex my toes. Stretch that. And then point your foot and point your toes. And then hold on to your metatarsals. Use your forearm to press that foot into a point, and then if it feels good, you can push your heel away so that you really get a nice stretch down the front here. All right, I got one last foot stretch for you. Now this one always takes me a second to figure out. So I'm gonna bring one leg back here, the other leg over here. This one's gonna be the pointy foot, and I'm gonna kind of lift up. So I'm kind of doing a side plank on my knee on the bottom leg, and the other foot is pointy. And I'm kind of bracing my ankle against this leg so that I'm not letting it sickle. I'm really pushing that ankle forwards a little bit with my leg. And then I'm just, the more that I go this direction, like the more I lean that way, the more intense the stretch is. And I can kind of lean on my heel a little bit to help stretch the front of that foot out. This one feels nice. You might need padding under the bottom of your foot though, because it's like kind of grinds the bones on the top of your foot into the floor, and if you're not used to that, you might not appreciate it. You can also scoot your foot that way to get more stretch. All right, let's do the other side, and then you will be free. Okay, so this foot points, and then I come up to my weird side plank, and then I'm gonna lean this heel away. And do you see how if I bring my hips back, my ankle kind of sickles? So I really gotta push forwards with this bottom leg to keep my ankle in a nice pretty line. Okay, shake it out. I hope your feet feel fantastic. Good job, you guys. I'll talk at you next time.